everyone and welcome back to Curtain Up, my monthly series where I catch you up on all things theatre related that I've done in the last month. As usual, it's been another really busy month, so I'm going to crack straight on with it. But if there are any vlogs to do with the things I'm talking about, they'll all be linked in the description below. So if you want to see like my full experiences and thoughts on some of these things, then just open up the description box and you should find lots of links there. I kicked off April with a concert, and that was to see Carrie Fletcher. She just released her debut album, so this was a set of concerts to go with that. I think she did 4 in total over the weekend. My friend Sam and I went along, so there's a vlog of the concert on Sam's channel. It was a really fun night. It was at Cadogan Hall and it was my first time going there. It's a lovely venue, so I'm really happy to have finally been there. I have actually got a concert booked there for a couple of months' time, but you know, this was actually a month's time. Oh my goodness, this year is going by so quickly. But yeah, it was a really lovely evening. It was really nice to hear Carrie singing live again because it's been a while. So yeah, overall a lovely evening to start April off on, because that was literally the 1st of April. The first show that I saw in April was Caroline or Change at the Hampstead Theatre. This was my first time visiting the Hampstead Theatre and I loved the venue, so I'm really glad to have finally been there, and I definitely want to try and see more stuff there in the future. The show was brilliant as well. It's going to be transferring to the Playhouse Theatre later on this year, so I've not put my vlog from that show up just yet because I knew I didn't have to rush it as much. I think it's closing at the Hampstead Theatre quite soon. It might have already closed. I can't remember what date it's running till, but yeah, there'll be plenty of opportunity to see it when it transfers to the Playhouse Theatre later on this year, and I would highly recommend you do so. Sharon D. Clarke was just incredible. I always love watching her in shows, and it was just a really different show as well. Very kind of quirky, but very like serious underlying topics. So it was something completely different, and I really enjoyed it. The next show that I saw in April was Teddy at the Vaults Theatre. Again, this was my first time visiting the Vaults Theatre. So many first experiences this month. I went to see Teddy because the PR team invited me to go along, and I'm really glad they did because I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the vlog. It's a show that I might not have gone to see otherwise, because I'm very lucky and I go to see a lot of things, but then it's quite overwhelming when you're trying to catch things that are West End, off West End, and then this is very much off West End. So, you know, it's hard to keep up, but when I'm invited to shows like this, it's really nice to go along and experience shows like Teddy, and I had a really, really fun night. So yeah, the vlog of that's on my channel. Another one that I'd highly recommend, that's running until I think the 2nd or 3rd of June. I feel like the 2nd of June sounds right. It was really fun to visit the Vaults. Such a different venue, and I really enjoyed it. The next show I saw was Spring Awakening at the Hope Mill Theatre up in Manchester. So not a new theatre because I have been to the Hope Mill Theatre before, but it has been a while, to be fair. The last time I was there was September, so a good chunk of time has passed, and I had such a nice time seeing Spring Awakening at the Hope Mill. I rambled on about how lovely this venue is in the vlog, but it's such a nice space and the staff are amazing. And this is a show that I've seen an amateur production like years and years ago, so to see a proper production of it was an absolute joy. Really glad that I've been to see it. I said this in the vlog, it's not like my favourite book-wise. It's not that I hated it, that's not the case. I don't know, for me it just wasn't my favourite book-wise, but the way they put it on, it's amazing. The Hope Mill are doing amazing things. The next stagey thing that happened in April was the Olivier Awards, you know, casual little Olivier Awards ceremony. I was actually invited to a screening of it at the Hospital Club, which was initially very exciting, and I knew that some of my friends were going along, so I was super excited to like spend the evening with them and get to watch the Olivier Awards as it was happening, because annoyingly they don't broadcast it live in the UK, and that is such a gripe that I have with the Olivier Awards, because you look at things like the Tony Awards, for example, and that's broadcast live on TV, and we don't have that. I think it was broadcast on Facebook Live to everywhere but the UK, and then we just had the highlights of the show afterwards. So that's why I was like, cool, I'm gonna go to this screening and that's gonna be amazing. It was not. The Hospital Club staff had obviously been told that people weren't allowed to take photos, and that's fine. Obviously, you know, I go to the theatre all the time, I know that you don't take photos during a show, blah, blah, blah. But they took that as a note that no one could have their phone out. It was really frustrating because obviously we were there because we do stuff online. We have our little community and we express our opinions and things like that online, and you're there telling us that in the biggest event of theatre in London and we're not allowed to participate in that online conversation that's happening right now. I was furious, and sadly it completely ruined my Olivier Awards experience. So this year's Olivier's for me were like complete write-off. I was like, I'm just gonna pretend it didn't happen because then that's better. So that was really, really sad for me because I love the Olivier Awards, and I really wish we could go back to the days of having the public Covent Garden event, because the community feel there and getting to watch the awards live in Covent Garden was amazing. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that they've made, to be honest, in terms of moving to the Royal Albert Hall and etc. And like, yeah, anyway, that was really sad. So bad Olivier's experience. It was great to hang out with my friends still, like we just got drunk and, you know, cured our rage that way, but it was very sad. The next event after the Olivier Awards was a much happier one. I went to the London Palladium to see Jason Robert Brown in concert with guests Rachel Tucker, Betsy Wolfe and Norm Lewis with the BBC Concert Orchestra, and it was amazing. It was so, so good. The Palladium is a gorgeous venue, so it's always nice to visit there, but to hear Jason Robert Brown's music live with these amazing guests, the incredible orchestra, it was just such a wonderful concert. And I think that broadcast is coming out because it was part of the Friday Night is Music Night broadcast, and I can't remember what date it's coming out, but I'm going to put it on screen and I'm going to link it below so you can listen to it when it's out, because it was so good. He was playing music from his new album that's coming out in June, I believe, and then some old stuff as well, and it was just amazing. Like, it was such a good night. Amazing concert. It was quite pricey, but I'm very glad that I went. The next day after that, I went up to Birmingham for the day to see my friend Amy, but also to see the tour of Wicked, because I am a Wicked trash and I'm proud of it. Nikki Bentley was on as Elphaba for the afternoon performance, so I managed to get the last ticket available for that show, which I'm very, very happy about. Shout out to my friend Amy for sorting that out. You're an actual superstar. So yes, I managed to get a ticket and it was really nice. I'd not seen Wicked in this venue before. I've seen Wicked in quite a few tour venues now, but this one I hadn't, and I hadn't been to this venue since 2014, so it had been a while. But it was really nice. It was lovely to see Amy, and she took me on a little explore backstage, which was fun. And yeah, it was really nice to see the tour cast again. Obviously, full thoughts will be in that vlog when it comes out. The next day after that, I saw another tour. This was the Sunset Boulevard tour because it was in Wimbledon for the week. So I thought, right, nice and close to home. I did so much travelling this month in terms of going to different theatres. I genuinely cannot afford to do any travelling in May. I need to stay in London in May. But yeah, I saw the Sunset Boulevard tour because I'd heard really good things about it. I'd never seen the show before. Obviously, it was at the London Coliseum last year, but that was way too expensive. So I'm really glad that I managed to catch the tour. It was a really good show. I really enjoyed it, and obviously Rhea Jones and Danny Mac were leading the production, and I thought they were fantastic. And it was really nice as well to see a couple of other familiar faces, and I managed to get an upgrade with my seat, which was really nice, and had a great time. I think that tour's closed now, sadly, but it was good. The next show I saw was Showstoppers at the Lyric Theatre. This was partly because I really just wanted to tick the Lyric off my list, but also because I'd heard so many good things about Showstoppers and I was so intrigued that I just needed to go, so I did. If you've never heard of Showstoppers, it's an improvised musical, so the audience basically decides for them what the show is going to be about, and then the cast have to create a musical out of the location, the themes, and the name that the audience pick out. And I was so like skeptical about how they were going to do it and if it was going to be good, and I was blown away because they just were so funny, so quick thinking, and it was just one of the funniest nights I've ever had in the theatre. So if you ever get the chance to see the Showstoppers, I know they do They do a month every, they do a week, what am I trying to say? They do a Monday every month at the Lyric, and then I think they might have done like, they might tour sometimes and then do the Fringe and things like that. So yeah, if you ever get the chance to see them, I 1000% recommend it. I know that's not a percentage, but it is now. After that, I went back to Birmingham, not to see Wicked again, nope. I went to see The Last Ship at the new Alexandra Theatre. So another new theatre to tick off my list. How many new theatres is that this month? 1, 2, 3 technically if we're counting Cadogan Hall. There's going to be technically 6 new venues this month. Madness, that's actual madness. So anyway, yeah, I saw The Last Ship because I'd really wanted to see it in New York when it was on a few years ago. Sadly it closed before I got there, so that didn't happen, but I really wanted to see it. And it's got Richard Fleishman and Frances McNamee, who I've seen in shows before, so I was like, I want to see this show. I really enjoyed it. I've spoken in the vlog, you'll know when that comes out, that there are definitely things that I would have changed about the show, but overall I'd say I had a really good time seeing it. Not that it's necessarily like a feel-good show, but I really enjoyed it. And that always feels weird to say about shows that aren't necessarily happy, dancey, woo, but I did. I'm really glad I saw it. It was a great production. The next show that I saw after that, it was a return visit to The Grinning Man. Not done too many return visits this month. I'm proud of myself. But yeah, The Grinning Man is closing soon, so I wanted to see it one last time, and today Tix were doing one of their 24-hour flash sales. I managed to get some really nice seats, actually quite close to the front. This was the closest I'd sat to see the show, and I'm really, really glad because it was such a nice experience to be that close. And I took a friend of mine who isn't necessarily a theatre person, but I had this feeling that she was going to really enjoy this, and thankfully, she did. She really enjoyed it. So I'm really glad because we hadn't caught up in ages, and you know, I just messaged her out of the blue and I was like, hey, there's this show that I think you'll like. Do you want to come with me? And so yeah, I treated her to that because I'm a nice friend. And yeah, and it was really great to see it again. Julie Atherton was on this time. She wasn't the last time that I saw the show. That was one of my other main motivations to see the show again, because I was like, I just want to see Julie Atherton one more time. She's so fantastic, so good. I've loved seeing this show. That was my 3rd time seeing it. It'll still be on for a few more days once this video goes live, so if you can see it in its closing week, please do. I'm really glad that it has been on. I'm really glad that it transferred from Bristol over to here, and I'm really glad that I've been able to see it a few times because I just really loved watching it. So. Also, Josh Gad was at the same performance as me, so it's always casual when you turn around in the bar and see Josh Gad there and you're like, hi Olaf. And all his other amazing credits, but I know him mainly as Olaf. After that, it was another new show. Sean and I went to see Quiz at the Noel Coward Theatre. He really wanted to see it and I was like, it sounds fun, let's go. So we got some really nice seats at the back of the dress circle. They were only £15, so that was amazing. I used to love watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, so I was like, yeah, this sounds interesting, let's go. And as you probably know, I'm not much of a play person. I prefer musicals, but this was such a good play. It was really different. It was really sort of like dynamic. And Sean described, because this show is written by the same guy who wrote Ink, who, if you watched our Olivier Awards videos, Sean loved that. And it's the same writer, and it had, what I'd imagine, some of the same sort of like dynamics of the way it's been done in terms of the movement of the show and like the set and things like that, and it really blew me away actually. I've really enjoyed watching it. It was definitely a very different play to ones that I've normally seen. I think it does stretch the genre a little bit. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I'm gonna go with it. It was really cool. I'd highly recommend seeing it. The next show I saw in April was Strictly Ballroom at the Piccadilly Theatre, and I was really looking forward to seeing this show. There was something about it that when I saw that it was coming over to London, I was like, oh, this sounds really interesting, that looks really fun, and it kind of let me down a little bit. There's something about Will Young that I just don't love, and yeah, I haven't done the vlog for that yet. I've not done the chatty section. I really need to like figure out my thoughts. But yeah, something about his character and his role in the show, it just really didn't sit well with me. What was really nice though was that my friend Emma was there as well, and she writes a blog called Upper Circle, so I'll link her down below. Her blog is great. And also when I was going into the theatre, straight away an usher stopped me to say hello because he watches my videos. So if you're watching, that was lovely. Thank you. You made my day. Thank you. The next day I went to the London Coliseum to see the first preview of Chess. Very exciting. I've seen a production of Chess before. This was at the old Union Theatre now, back in I think like 2012. It's been a long time, so I'd forgotten sort of the details of the show, but I was really excited to see like a massive extravagant production of Chess. And yeah, it was the first preview and it was very exciting because at the interval ended up being like 35 minutes long, and I just thought, yeah, first preview, this can happen. But then the director I'm gonna say came out onto the stage at the end of the interval, and I was like, oh no, it's gonna be cancelled, isn't it? But it turns out that Tim Howard's wife had gone into labour, so he had to obviously rush off, and his understudy, Kellen Chug Jones, who I saw in Dogfight a few years ago and was amazing, agreed to continue the show as one of the lead roles with no rehearsal. And I was just shook throughout the rest of the show because he did it so well, and it was such a first preview. Like, you can't make that up, can you? You just can't. And it was amazing, and I loved the show as well. And I definitely, like, my friend Sam was there, I don't think I mentioned that. She was there, she's already put her vlog up because she doesn't sleep. So I'll link that down below, and then mine will be up at some point soon. We definitely want to go back and see it again because we both really enjoyed it. So that was really great. Loved that. Loved it. And the last show that I saw was Pieces of String at the Mercury Theatre in Colchester. This is a brand new musical. I think I saw this on social media like a while ago. So I was keeping tabs on it, and I was like, right, if I have a day that I can go to Colchester, then I will. I didn't realise how close Colchester was. It's like an hour away from London on the train, and so I did. I went last Saturday, and I'm so glad I did because it was such a strong new musical. I obviously love seeing new things, especially when it's sort of like out of town, potential future London shows, and I can definitely see this fitting into London well. I'm gonna save my thoughts on that for the vlog to tell you more about it, but definitely worth the trip out there. That show will also have a few more days left by the time this video goes up, so if you're in the Colchester area and you want to see an amazing new musical, then definitely check out Pieces of String at the Mercury Theatre. And again, that was another new theatre to visit, and it was a really nice space as well, so I'm really glad that I managed to get over there. A couple of other exciting things that have happened in April. So on Friday the 13th, the tickets for Heathers at the Other Palace went on sale. It was announced the night before and tickets went on sale the next morning, and I made a very sensible decision, I must say. I went down to the theatre that morning and I just managed to get my tickets in person, avoided all of the website stress. That was great. I'd love to know if you managed to get tickets, do let me know. Also, Louise Dearman brought out her new album and it is gorgeous. I mean, honestly, it's one of my favourite new musical theatre albums to listen to. I just think it's absolutely divine. It's on like Spotify and all the other usual channels like iTunes, Amazon Music, Google Play, blah blah. I'll link the album down below, and I've really enjoyed listening to it. And also in terms of new music, a new Hamildrop came out, and that's called First Burn, and I am obsessed. So obsessed. It's just incredible, and I've literally had it on repeat. So again, I'll link that down below. If you've not already listened to it, have you been under a rock? I don't know. So I think that's everything for April. I'm always super paranoid that I've missed something out, but I'm fairly sure that is everything. As always, I would love to know what you've been up to in Theatreland in April, and just how you've been in general, to be honest. And if you've seen any of the same shows that I've seen, then I'd love to know your thoughts, feelings, emotions. Do let me know in those comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of me in the future. I make loads of theatre videos. As you can probably tell, I'm addicted to theatre, so woo! Yeah, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe and stick around. That would make me very happy. I hope you're all doing really well. I hope you had a great month. I hope you enjoyed the 2 days of summer that we had in the UK. Weren't they great? And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye!